what's up guys? Today's video we're going to be changing the oil pan on my twin turbo Nova. So let's get to work. Alright, so if you guys have watched the channel before, you would know that I have a 5.3 LS with twin turbos and my 74 Nova. You also might know that I have an Fbody pan on there. And a lot of guys say that the Fbody pans aren't the greatest because the pickup is kind of more in the middle of the sump than at the back of the sump. And that causes issues when the car launches really hard. My other issue with the pan, and I can show you once we get it up in the air, is my tie rod ends hit the pan at full lock. So really the Fbody pan is not the greatest for a Nova or Camaro of this style, but it does work. It's just, it really kind of hampers how much I can turn the steering wheel, like all the way to left or right, which kind of sucks. So what I ended up doing is I ordered, figure out, there we go. Okay, I ordered this. Now this is from, I got it off eBay, and it's basically the Holley 302-2 pan, except it's, you know, a knockoff, but realistically, I'm pretty sure the Holley pans are made in the same factory up in China that this one is. Okay, so brand new oil pan gasket comes with it. We got a brand new pickup, and it actually has the two bolts instead of one like the factory one does. So that's nice. And then we got some bubble wrap for later. Okay, and then I got the oil pan. We'll just put that down there for a second. And then we got all the miscellaneous bolts. It comes with new bolts. Everything. I'll open this up in a second. It also comes with the new tray that goes inside right there. Alright, so there's the pan. As you can see, it has already pre-tapped and bungs for if you need your oil return lines. It's got one on each side, which is actually really nice. Mine goes into the timing cover, so I don't need to use those. It looks pretty good. What we'll do is once I pull the Fbody pan out, we'll put them side by side. We'll do a comparison of the differences. Basically, the big difference with it, aside from the internals in terms of the pickup tube, is this is shorter here. My Fbody pan is actually quite a bit longer, and that's where I'm coming to the steering issues, is right at the very front. This one's further back. There's the inside. Looks pretty good. Okay, and we'll unbag the other stuff and I'll show you what's in there. We got all brand new bolts, complete. We got plugs if you aren't using the turbo drains like I'm not. Got plugs to put in there. And then we got this thing here, and for the oil filter and the O-ring, etc. Bolts for the pickup tube and whatever else other bolts that are needed, plus the drain plug. Everything comes with the pan. Let me tell you what the price was. $269 American for the pan. Holley pan of the same kind is $360, $370, something like that. I think this is a really good deal. Definitely for me, it was cheaper than getting the Holley pan. And like I said, I'm pretty sure that Holley pans are made in China, and so are these. And it's probably the exact same pan, just not with the Holley name on it. So you can definitely save yourself some money. We'll get the car jacked up and we'll start taking the pan out. Now, my car, you'll see after we jack it up, it actually has a removable front cross member. So I don't have to pull the engine or anything to change the pan. Just drop the cross member, drop the center link, drain the oil, and I should be able to drop the pan no problem, and this shouldn't even take that long. First thing we're gonna do is drain the oil out, but I'll bring you down underneath and I'll show you some things. Here you can see the removable cross member. It's bolted in. Before you guys comment in the comments that this isn't good or it's bad to cut the cross member out, I've performed multiple wheelies from very high up, and I've never had an issue with anything bending or alignment being out or anything like that. And the engine is on an engine plate, like motor plate at the front, and if anything was bent, it wouldn't fit anymore, and it fits perfectly fine. So that's that. A lot of race car type guys do this. It's not a big deal, and it makes for maintenance pretty good, because as you can see, I can get all the oil pan bolts. Now the only other thing in my way is the center link here, and as you can see, you might even see it, there's a little chunk, not a chunk, but a little mark, divot mark here in the pan. That's from a tie rod end hitting it. So basically when you turn, you can see how close it is. Like I said, it fits good. We're going in a straight line. Strictly drag car, awesome, perfect. Even street car, it's fine. I've had it like this for 3 years already, but when you want to make a U-turn or you're pulling into a parking spot, it's kind of a pain. As you can see from here how long the pan is from here to there, which like I said, we will compare once we swap them. And then you can also see how the pan doesn't really hang down any further, or much further than the tie rod center link here. Give you kind of a view like that. Hoping the new pan's gonna be the same. So what we're gonna do now, get this oil drained out, and we'll remove this cross member. We'll have to drop this tie rod center link, and then the pan will just come out. There we go. And then you can watch the oil come out. We'll see how it looks. She looks a little black. It's been in there since last year, but maybe I should change it first thing in the spring, but it's gonna get changed now. Took off the filter, idler arm, pitman arm, and those dropped out of the way, and so now you can see. I'm pretty sure I could probably take the pan out. I wonder if I should try it. If this was a stock cross member, you know, it's way up here, so there's no way it would clear pulling it out without removing this. Not that removing this is a big deal. I'm just curious now if I could. With the small block, the pan that I had in here before was huge, and I definitely had to remove this in order to get at the pan. But let's get a 10 mil and take out the oil pan bolts and see what happens. We got 2 more bolts. Oh, no, there's one more here. Okay, oh, now the pan just dropped down. Okay. Now we got the 2 rearmost bolts. And the pan is loose. Oh, look at that. Look at that, dropped right out without even taking that off. Nice. So you can see where the pickup is on the Fbody pan. It's like in the middle of the engine, which seems kind of ridiculous why they would do that when obviously the pickup goes all the way to the back, unless it was more for a handling, cornering kind of deal. And then you can see where the truck, I use a truck windage tray and I had to cut it, which you also have to do for this new pan. And yeah, it looks good. Everything looks pretty good. I'll pull that pan out and we'll compare them. Here's the 2 pans. So as you can see, this one, the hole's way up at the front of the sump. And this one, it's like way in the middle, which I'm still surprised it's not further back, but That's where it is. And then if you kind of compare the heights, they're about the same. I can't really lift this one up right now because it'll leak oil everywhere. So you can see this one goes all the way, say, to this third bolt. And then look at how much extra clearance it is. The third bolt is here, all this extra clearance here, which is what I needed for steering clearance. Now what I'm going to do is take the pickup off, switch to the new pickup, and then prep that pan and get it ready to put back on. So to get the pickup off, you know, there's one bolt there, and then there's the 110 here, which I might have to do with a ratchet. I mean, all in all, the Fbody pan is still a good pan. It's just, for fitment wise, I mean, I guess in a not crazy type drag car that's gonna launch really hard and, you know, that kind of thing, you could probably get away without, you know, I mean, I've been using this one and the car went 970s and blah blah blah. I never had issues with it uncovering the pickup and losing oil pressure or anything like that, but I don't really want to have issues, so that's one of the reasons. I mean, probably the biggest reason was the steering annoyance. Oops. But also this other part. I just don't know if this is going to leak a bunch of oil. It probably will. I'm going to get the bucket. Okay, I'll pop this out. And of course, not a drop comes out. Figures, right? Switch over from this pan is this, because as I said, this has the thing for my oil gauge, and the one that they gave doesn't even have a boss for that. So we've got to use this, which is all good, right? We're going to use these new bolts because they're gold, look fancy. So this just goes on here. All right, and then we got the 4 bolts that hold this shield thing, windage tray, whatever. Okay, the drain on this one is on this side. And there we go. So then we still got to put in these plugs. I'll put a little bit of Teflon on, put those in. The only other thing that I have to put on is the for the oil filter. And then I'll show you. The one that came with the kit is this one here. Now, this one here, it uses a slightly smaller oil filter. Like, I don't know if you can really notice the difference here, but see, this one's a little bit bigger than this one. And so the Fbody pan, it uses the smaller one. And then this is the slightly bigger one. I actually have the slightly bigger one on my S10. But I'm actually going to use the slightly smaller one on here because I already have a bunch of filters for it. That's something to keep in mind, that it comes with that size, but you can always take the one off your old pan, or you just got, doesn't really matter, you just got to use the filter with the bigger hole basically. I got this pan draining the oil out, but now you can really see the difference in the length here to here versus here to here. Otherwise, they're very similar. I'm going to unpackage the new gasket. Might as well use it. We got it, and we're going to get this pan in. The gasket kind of just up there, laying on top of the pan. Well, you know what? I'm going to put the gasket kind of up there because I don't want it to get messed up. There we go. Okay. gasket up, and of course I have the bolts in the bag, and I didn't take them out first. I figured might as well put the new bolts since they're new and they came with it. Okay, we're in there. Now I just need the gun and I can tighten them up. Send her home. And that's it, guys. She's in there. Got it all back together. Basically, the tar rod ends just hooked back up, or the Pitman arm, idler arm deal. And so now we'll take a little, crank the wheel all the way, and then that's as far as it goes because it hits the steering stop. And as you can see, we got good fingers worth of clearance there. And then we can go the other way, this side, till it hits the stop, and same thing. So that's perfect. And if we compare to before, I'd say it probably hangs about exactly the same. I'm pretty sure the measurement was like the same of the depth. You can see it's only slightly below here, which is what it was like before. So really the transmission pan is the lowest part, but the exhaust is lower than the pan. If any wheelies occur, hopefully, you know, it would hit the exhaust before cracking the pan. And yeah, all in all, that went really nice. Fits really good. There it is. So all we got to do now is put the oil in. And I got this Rotella 1540 T4 stuffed. Everyone says to use. That's what I put in it last time. Of course, it kind of sucks having it in a big container because then you need a jug, which I'm using a milk jug, which is 1 gallon or 4 liters for you American guys. And I'm going to put it in the car, and then we'll fire it up, make sure we have oil pressure, and check for leaks, and we'll be done. This dipstick was cut for the Fbody pan, and I'm assuming because the depth is the same that, you know, it should be the same. Quart of oil, liter of oil, same thing. Just we've got the metric system here for some reason. This is an LS based engine, and all their stuff's in metric anyways, so explain that part to me. Added like another quart / liter into there. That should put us about 5 or so, which I think is all this pan holds, I'm pretty sure. But we'll double check on the dipstick after, but now we'll fire it up and we'll see if we got oil pressure, obviously, and if we got any leaks. Well, we have oil pressure. It's going up, going up. Heading over 50. And we got no leaks, so that's good. All right, guys, so that's gonna be it for this one. Oil pan went in really nice. I like it, it looks good. Seems like it should work really good. Give me my steering radius back. Like always, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. Click the notification bell so that you get notified of the new videos, and we'll check you later.